Okay, so now I am going to the inside of the top page. We've done our back cover, we've got the bottom page now, and we've done the top of the top page, and now we're doing this back side right here. This pocket page, the back of this pocket page. I've decided I want to do a waterfall here. I'm going to try and put a little bit different twist on it, but it's still going to be a waterfall. So let's move this aside for now. Start with our mat piece, which measures 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. Let me confirm that for you. It's been a little while since I cut it. Yes, 6 1/4, 8 1/4. All right, at the bottom of the waterfall, I wanted to do a flap that came up from the bottom and held it in place. And I wanted to use this cut apart from the collection. So I trimmed it down, and then I cut a piece for the flap. I just trimmed the black off of it, took it right up to the kind of brown edge, which puts it at 5 and a little below 5 and 7/8 there, and a little like about 3 7/8. All right. Then I cut the flap at 6 inches by 4 1/2 and scored it 1/2 inch on the 4 1/2 inch side. So if this was at the top of your scoreboard, you would score 1/2 inch. All right, now, since I don't want this all the way to the bottom of the page, I want to have the same border at the bottom that I do on the sides. And I went ahead and I chomped this corner because I thought it looked funny since I had done the stub edge on the mat. So I did the corners to match. Then I went in and I just cut the flap in. I mitered that just a little bit in from my stub edge there. I laid it down here, got my ruler and my X-Acto knife, and cut a slit in my mat right where I wanted the edge of this to go. So now what I'm going to do is slip it through there and make sure it's all centered where I want it to be. And then I'm going to grab my art glitter glue and glue it down. Put the glue on the back of the flap. Now I'm going to have to go to the front and rearrange it because you can see it's moving. But that's why I'm using the glue instead of the score tape, so that I can adjust. Alright, before I even try and push it down. Oh, now I'm making a mess. Alright, take it to the front again. Line it up. Then push it down, and then just turn it over and make sure everything's good on the back side and burnish it. Have I done one video where I knew where my bone folder was? Just one. Oh, goodness. Alright, so I like that. I'm going to just set that aside for a moment. Now for the waterfall, I have cut 4 pieces. Each of them measure 4 1/4 inches wide by 6 1/2 inches long. Then across the 6 1/2 inch, I have scored at 1/2 inch. So that means our flap is going to be 6 inches total by 4 1/4. All right, so I have all of these pre-cut. Got the flap scored back or folded back. And I have done a 1/4 inch round on the edges. Grab my book, and we're going to start putting down the waterfall pages. Now, in all honesty, waterfalls are not my favorite page design. However, they just hold a bunch of pictures. You know, they really do. It's a great way to get several pictures in a small space. So I was just eyeballing center. I don't know if you can see it since it's black on black, but basically what you want to do is just center this best you can. Now, since we do have a pocket here, I thought about putting the flap on the inside. I decided against it because when you do the waterfall, you kind of use that to line up the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on the top of the page. Again, trying to find center. Alright, make sure it's to the edge. Sometimes I can do that better by feeling it than I can by looking at it. And try and make sure that the bottom edge is parallel to the bottom of the page. Just get it centered as best you can. Thank goodness we're matting these because I don't know what I got on there. Alright, and just burnish that down. Now, the next ones go down a little easier because you've got this nice guideline. Wait a minute. Before I put this one on, I need to put my bottom page down. Okay, I wanted it to go over this first one. Or did I want it to sit on top? Now I'm debating. I think it's going to look better if it sits on top. Because if not, you're going to have a gap that shows that. I was trying to cover this up, but now thinking about it, if I didn't do that, you would have a gap here where the next one starts, and that's going to look stupid. So let's get this glued down. Thank goodness I thought of that before the glue was too dry, huh? I already tore my paper a little bit, but it's alright, because we're going to glue right over it. So much forgiveness goes on behind the scenes, huh? Okay. And as you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and glue this one down. Alright. Let's cover up our mistakes. Nice and neat, like they never happened. Okay, that looks pretty square. Alright. Uh-oh, now I've done it. My glue snuck out at the bottom. Dang it! Oh, alright, well, looks like we're going to be embellishing there. And I thought I was going to have a good day today. Well rested. We'll figure something out. Alright. Now let's put the flap down the way it should have been in the first place. And I got more glue on the front with my finger. Alright, all the way up to the edge. It looks pretty straight. I'm really upset about that. That was a dumb move. Maybe we can cover it with a little inking. Some days I'm just a beginner all over again. Okay. There we go. Now you're going to want to butt this one up right next to the last one. And then make sure it's laying straight and make sure it lines up with the edges here so it's not sticking out anywhere. Okay. And burnish it down. See, if I would have had that underneath the paper, we would have had the paper showing through right there, and I don't think that would have been what I wanted. So we will just continue on with this. Really helps if your folds are nice and straight when you do a waterfall. Saves you a headache later if you just check that when you burnish. Let's have a look. Okay, looks okay. Just burnish it from the top and then lift up, burnish it underneath. Okay, and just one more to go, and let me just verify that that's going to fit without any problems. Alright, it'll be just fine. Okay. Alright, where is my little pin for the lid? I just don't like to leave this sitting very long at a time because I don't want it to stop up. Okay. Last piece of waterfall here. Looks good, looks straight. Okay, so now I'm just going to go attach my cutout. I am going to put a magnet on this, but I'm going to put it on the back side of the page. My tip's clogged a little bit there. Let's see if I can just get it by peeling off the outside. Hoping it pulls from the inside a little too. It didn't work. It's just give it a quick once over there. Ta-da! Perfect. Be good if it was right side up. And get up there. All right. Okay. Now to cut some of that floral, I've gone with this as my mat for the top piece, because that it's just kind of floral. So I thought this would be a good way to go. Covered up as much as the floral as I could. It's great as an accent, but I just don't want like a whole page of it or something. And I felt it went nicely with this cutout. And see, the black covers up most of it. Now some of you may like it, in which case you're going, why does she want to cover it up? Let yours show then. I mean, a lot of people love the florals. I'm just not one of them. Okay, so we've got that down. I'm going to come back and finish my matting once I've used up all my favorite papers. But I am going to go ahead and put my magnet on now so that I don't forget and, start matting with one missing or something. So where I want my magnets to go is on this piece and this piece. Okay, so I think it'd be best to put it on this one first, and I want it about there, about 1.25 inches up. Oh, those things are so strong. Okay, now where did I say I wanted it? About right there, I think. Okay, probably can't even see that. And get a little score tape. Okay, and now let its little friend join him. Wait, that's wrong. Correct, correct, correct. Before there's a problem. It's going to the back of this page, not the front of this page. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it here. Wait a minute. There we go. This is what I want to do. Shoo! Terribly confused there for a moment. Okay. That's a little close to the edge. I could have scooted it down a little, but it'll be okay. It will do. We'll be able to cover it up. You just got to make sure you've got room to cover it with your pattern paper when you go to mat. Because although they're very thin, there is still some width there that you've got to wrap around. So, okay, that looks good to me. All right. That'll work, I think. And then that'll hold it down, keep it from flapping when we turn the page. And then we'll put something cute and decorative here. And I was going to make that a pocket, and I forgot again. Oh, well, it probably wouldn't have been a very good pocket. Maybe we'll put one on the back or something. We'll see. Because I was thinking a tag sticking up there would be cute, or I don't know yet. We'll decorate it some way that's just adorable. But there's that page. And the last one that we did, which was the back of the other page, remember I said I was thinking about doing a belly band, and I decided I did want to. So I went ahead and cut it out. This is 6.5 inches across by 1.5 inches wide. I just went and cut some of the stamp pieces off of one of the papers, and I cut them down real low profile all the way down to the green, and trimmed the edges just to make it fit onto my belly band here. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down now. And we'll just stick that on there. And then put our belly band in place, and that'll finish up that page for us. I decided it just needed a little something. I could have left the page just blank so you could put pictures wherever, but I decided it would be cuter, in my opinion, to have a belly band. There'll still be room for pictures, like if you put a small one above it or below the belly band, but then we'll put a cute little tag in there, and then they can put pictures on the tag. Okay, so that's adhered pretty well. And for the belly band, I just want a small bead of glue on each end. Just enough to hold it in place. And I kind of want to line it up with this element on the page before it that may not, or on the back of a cover actually, may not be exactly center, but I think that's what's going to look right since that's sitting right there next to it. And it does look pretty darn close to center to me, so. Alright, get it straight. I have a tendency to run my belly bands uphill or downhill or something. Alright. I'm kind of using the script as a guideline there. And just let that dry. And I just thought that gave it a nice, you know, it's so vertical. I just thought it needed a little horizontal element to break it up just a touch. Burnish this down really well. So there's a little bit of a curve there. I may need to take the glue over just a little bit further if it doesn't want to. It looks like it's probably going to do all right. So, all right, there's another page done. Got a nice little waterfall. Like I said, I will probably go back and mat this later. We can leave them blank and put just a decorative element in the space there, you know, just put little washi tape or just little strips you have left over. I haven't decided yet if I want to do that or if I want to mat them. Oh, we should put a black mat right there, definitely, because that just looks funny hanging out there like that. So if we cut a mat and put it right there, I think that would be just a good idea. So I'm going to need something 4 1/4 inches wide by about 5 1/2 inches long, I think. So I'm going to find a scrap. I don't see one the right size, but I just cut. I should have. Maybe that's going to do it for me. Let's have a look. 4 1/4. Well, it's 5 1/2. Yeah? Let's see what that looks like. It's probably just going to be what we use. Because I have it. It's right there. Alright, so if I put that there. Well, see, that's perfect, because if I did it longer, it would stick out. I'm just going to do that. So let me go ahead and round these bottom corners, because the ones before it were done that way. And then I'm just going to glue this down. Yeah, because you can't leave that looking like that. My goodness. What was I thinking? Okay, make sure it all lines up. Okay, we're good. Alright, so now you can just put a picture right back there too. And maybe it'll get matted, maybe it won't. I've got to work on this little mess I made down here. Cut that. Gotta be careful, I don't want to cut too much. There we go. I think ink. Let's see what I can do with some ink. I'm scared here, y'all. Definitely covered that side up with some ink. But I don't know. It might be too much to hide. We might have to embellish or something. Goodness, goodness. Alright, nothing to get upset about. It's a gorgeous album, and even if, you know, that's noticeable, it's not going to ruin my whole album. So, try not to get too upset with me about it. Alright, there we go. There's one more down. We don't have much to go. We do have this inside here. And, you know, we're going to have to go back and mat everything. That's a given. And then we have the inside here. So let me see if I can't come up with a plan for those. I think for this one, I want to do a pocket with the other cutout that kind of matched this one. So I'm thinking I may do a pocket here with that. We don't have any real big pockets in here, so I think that's what's going to be next. See you in a few. Alright, so I am ready to do the inside of the front cover, this flap right here, and I've decided to do a pocket. And I wanted to use this image so that we kind of have a, it's not really a mirrored image, but you know, just the same effect on either side. So I went ahead and trimmed this all the way down to this little, I don't know, there's a little area that has these tiny like little hash marks, and I trimmed it down to that, and it makes it almost 3¼ inches wide. So I wanted my pocket to be 3½ inches wide. So I cut it 4 inches wide because we're going to attach it on one side. Our inside flap there is the same length as the cover, which is 9 inches. So I made this 10 inches long. Okay. So then I've gone and scored at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. The only place I didn't was on the long side. Okay. So the 2 short sides and the 1 long edge need to go ahead and get scored 1/2 inch in. But before I go burnish these back, go to your corners and just cut right through the X. And you can see I misscored right there, kind of slipped right out of my little groove. That's all right. Our you know what? I may need some light. Sorry about that. Just realized I didn't have any lights on, and there's a light coming through the window. It's probably causing a glare. Sorry. I'm just trying to even out the light for you. Alright, so we've scored it. We've mitered our corners. And now we've burnished everything back. I'm going to go ahead and put my paper on. I want my girl to be all the way to the right edge, and so I want the pocket to open on the left. Okay, so just make sure I've got my image going the right direction, and we're going to glue her down. If I can find my glue, just grab my art glitter glue. Awesome stuff. Oh, and looky there, the back side of this is the paper that I've chosen to put on the rest of my page. But we want to put this pocket down first before we mat. And now that might be confusing because sometimes I mat first and then put a pocket. When I do that is when I just have those real shallow pockets that don't have the folded back edges. Alright, so if you're just putting, say, a designer, it's more of a tuck spot than a true pocket. But if you're just doing a little tuck spot type pocket, you want to mat first and then put your glue on your 3 edges or your 2 edges and put it right down on your design paper. But when you're building up a pocket with cardstock that has these edges folded back, then you want to put it down first, because when you mat, you're going to mat over these lips so that your tag or your mat or whatever you're sliding in and out of your pocket doesn't catch on those. And you don't have to cut a mat the full size of the page. So what I did, instead of having to find a piece of paper that was 7 inches wide, I just made sure I found one that was wide enough to where this would overlap, so I didn't even measure this, and I just cut it 8 3/4 inch long to give our border around the page. Let me show you a little bit better what I'm talking about here by bringing the page over. If I was going to mat the whole page, I would have had to cut this 6 3/4. Wait, this is 7 inches wide, so yeah, 6 3/4. But since we're going to have a pocket here, it really doesn't matter if this mat goes all the way over here. You can't see it, so as long as it comes underneath the opening, you're good. Okay? So that means you can use a scrap. You don't have to find something that's 6 3/4 inches wide. All right, so we want to adhere our pocket. So just put your glue on your flaps here. Okay. Let me get that out of the way. I don't know if it was showing in the frame or not, but if so, it might have been distracting. It's just a scrap of paper that I haven't found a home for yet. Alright, now line this up with the edge. Make sure it's nice and straight. I've already put the magnet on the back of that. That's why it's grabbing so quick like that. Alright. Get my bone folder and burnish, burnish, burnish. Okay. So she's looking good. And now all I have to do, oh, I've already done my stub corners. Don't have to do these, they'll be hidden. And I've already I inked around my image before I turned on the camera. So, all taken care of. That was good. I just went right off the edge of the page there with my glue a little bit. I'll clean that up. Woohoo! Very scientific the way I slather that on. Okay. So now you just have to be a little careful sliding it under. And I might have cut it a little shallower. It would have been easier, but that's okay. Like I said, I was just using the scrap the way it was. So, try and get our border the same at the top and the bottom and on the side. And wait a minute. Got more of a border at the top than the bottom. Got to scooch it in better. There we go. And just press down. Alright, and actually in this case, I think if I turn it over, I can get a better burnish on there. Okay. I just want to stick something in there to make sure that our glue didn't squish out and close our pocket anywhere. And it didn't. We are good. So we have our freaky deaky birds. Okay, just the way these are shaded, I just think some of them look like they've been shot. Yeah, well, it tickles me. Okay, there's another one done. So basically all that leaves left now to do are these two inside areas. And I'm really still deciding what I want to do with them. So I may just go ahead and upload this video now for these 2 pages so you have a nice little short one. And then I'll get to work on those. Alright, thanks for hanging in with me.